The stories you've never heard.
Who did Suzanne Hill famously slap?
The jokes behind the jokes.
What would happen if I did a great big fart?
For the first time ever on Ash, Lachie, and Susie O'Neill.
I just peed a pants.
We go behind the laughter.
Yes, we're back. Term 3 for our radio school year. Whose phone is that? Come on, Alicia.
What?
Is it you? I moved my...
Oh.
See, I moved mine, I put it on a chair and I wheeled it away.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
have a bad habit of just being on my phone.
Our anti-Lachie texting device that we installed in here, it calls you out.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Producers Podcast. Lachie, Alicia, myself, Nick. It's we're back up and running now. It's post-show Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone trotted off in their separate directions after an interesting meeting, wasn't it?
Oh.
It's an interesting meeting.
Lively.
Gee,
They were
it turned into
buzzing.
it turned into a very sort of just
It felt
competitive
like-
game of just one-upsmanship.
It felt like toddlers in a sugar rush. Like,
I felt for you because you just all you were trying to do was just pitch ideas coming up, and it's like it was like a game of like improv. If you just gave someone's name,
Yeah.
it would just kick off like another 5
Yeah.
minutes of conversation.
so part of my job is to pitch interviews, and that's what I was doing. I was giving names of people we could potentially talk to coming up, and the conversations coming off the names was just crazy.
And I don't think
was
it ever
wild.
answered any of the questions.
It never did. And Kendall Gilding was just sat in the middle of the room going, what is going on? Welcome to the world of Ash and Lutzy,
Yeah,
Kendall.
she's been covering on news for quite a while and doing a fantastic job, just purely unshakable as she does it. A
She is.
true professional. But yeah, she's learnt a lot about what goes on behind the scenes here, and that's what we aim to do, to teach you guys. Lachie, how have your first few days back been?
Yeah, been pretty good. Can you actually, quickly, can you just pass me a slice?
Oh, he wants the pizza.
There's one slice, and I've nibbled half of it.
No, I'd prefer it fresh.
Okay, there's fresh stuff in the kitchen.
Was there not?
I will
There's one
say,
here. There's a second box in the kitchen.
Domino's
okay.
said they were going to deliver this pizza to Lutzy, and I asked Lachie to go and get it this morning when it arrived, and he immediately, before he brought it into Lutzy, he's like, should I just take a slice? For the bit.
Oh,
Can
you
I
had the
take a
chance to do
slice?
the funniest thing possible.
And then I was like, oh, maybe not. Like, maybe put it on like a plate outside and then take it in when he notices his joke. And he's like, oh, I'll text Buzz. So he texts Buzz, and then he goes, yeah, Buzz said I can eat a slice. So he sat in my booth, just slowly munching away on this pizza before he eventually decided to take it into Lutzy. It was...
See,
I said, Lachie will do anything for a bit of free food.
I didn't realise. Now I'm starting to think, is this some sort of social experiment? Lutzie's left one piece of pizza here in the studio, and I just
No. I brought it because it was left outside on the. There's a bench outside the studio
Yeah, okay.
where generally, if a guest comes in and they're a little bit early, we might get them to sit out on the bench just to wait until the guys finish the break or whatever. And it's also the bench where we put all the food when we get food delivered, or we bring food up from the cafe across the road, and there was a box of pizza. I thought there was honestly more slices in there than there is, obviously, and I brought it into the studio. I was like, oh, it's probably going to come up on the Producers Podcast, this pizza thing, so I might as well bring the box in.
Do you ever put salt on your pizza?
What?
So good.
Were you literally just telling us off air about how you can't understand how some things like have extra calories in them? Like, how's it worth 1,000 calories? I don't know. Maybe stop putting salt on pizza.
It's so good, though.
No, my wife's a big salter, and
Yeah.
just open up the taste
Salt
buds,
on
but
pizza is
I'm 100%
Amazing.
around. And fortunately,
Amazing.
my recent trip to the cardiologist has proven we're good. I can salt for another decade.
That's great.
We're good.
Yeah.
But as everyone got back into the obviously, I think we all have inbuilt routines every day. I found mine have fallen over a couple of times.
Yeah,
and going, oh, hang
I'm
on.
not quite
I'm half
there
an hour
yet.
behind where I should be right now.
I'm not quite there yet. I've been very tight. Monday was okay. I think, the adrenaline of the first
yeah.
day, you're fine. And then yesterday it really hit me, like 2 days worth of tiredness from waking up early again. Today I feel okay. I think maybe today's the day that I get back into things.
You're primed for a nap this afternoon.
Yeah.
Alicia, you and I sent you a text message on Sunday morning, and I said, I've just woken up at 6 a.m. freaking out that I've missed. Like, I've woken up, I've checked.
Thought it was Monday morning.
I thought it was Monday morning, and I thought I'd missed, I would have missed by that point at least half an hour of the show by the time I would have been able to get in. And I've freaked out going, oh no, first day back, I've slept through. But it turns out you did the same thing, well, similar.
The night before.
The night before, you were thinking it was Sunday night.
I suddenly panicked when I got into bed, and I was like, oh my God, I need to get up early in the morning. I hadn't thought about this. Like, I need to set my alarm. And then I was like, I had to triple check that it was Saturday. I was like, no, wait, it's Saturday, isn't it? And I had to go on my calendar, and then I text my friend. I was like, it is Saturday today, isn't it? And
It really is part of being a producer. There's that extra, like, sort of latent time on like a Sunday night where you're already in work mode, and it probably takes a while to wind down on a Friday as well. And I never enjoyed that Sunday sleep.
Yeah, nights are usually like my relaxation time is probably between like 12 and 4, and then from like 4 till 7 I'm suddenly like back up and I'm thinking about the show in the morning, and have we got everything prepped that we need? Is there any last minute interviews we should be chasing? Yeah,
you don't really properly switch off until you get to the 2 weeks that you might have. Like we had the last 2 weeks where you can switch off a little bit, but even then, there's still part of you that's
sleeping.
working.
At least you're sleeping better without that dread.
Yeah.
Because as I said, I've jumped into the Apple family of my iPhone, and I mean, because just having a new phone, and this is anyone who's changed ever, I just know that I feel like I'm going to make a mistake with an alarm, because I know my old alarm system so well, and I'm looking at this going, oh, what's this? My health calculator? Like I just want to set the alarm for this time. Like I just want this right now. I embarrassingly, Kendall Gilding just gave me a masterclass in how to share via
AirDrop.
iDrop. Oh, Jesus
iDrops. Gosh.
Yeah.
You don't want to be sharing stuff via iDrops.
You don't want to be sharing iDrops at all. But yeah, I'm still getting used to it, guys. I'm still getting used to it.
I will say it is funny. Kendall's name has come up a couple of times, even just in conversation. She's got one of those names that you have to say the first and last name for whatever
Kendall
reason.
Gilding.
You just Kendall Gilding. You say both.
I feel like that about Maddie Rowe, and I'm very good friends with Maddie Rowe, but I still feel like I always have to say Maddie Rowe. I can't just refer to her as Maddie.
Yeah, no, it's just one of those. Maybe it's a stage name that she's established for herself. Maybe not quite stage, but you get the idea. Her name, it has to be
your
Kendall
icon,
Gilding.
yeah.
It's part of her branding.
I mean, yeah, I'd love to keep going with Kendall Gilding in the building.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
that one dropped on day one. I want to keep that going.
That's good. Speaking of branding, has your personal branding stuff going, Nick Davis?
Glad you asked. Thank you. It's going.
Yeah,
it's going. It's a slow. As I said, it's just to get all my ducks in a row when I start my push forward into this brave new world of social media, and I just want to I've seen. I think I'm reaching more accounts. I don't think I'm garnering any more likes or anything like that. But my reach is bigger.
You've garnered one more account because I do know that.
Oh yes, I did it.
You do you know this?
No, I don't think so.
Nick gained a follower.
I gained a follower. I mean,
who was it?
It's a reciprocation, but
Is it a big name?
I mean, if you consider my followers to be, I don't know, some kind of a block or maybe a building. Kendall Gilding is now in that building.
Oh, what? Yeah. So I'm the only one that she hasn't followed back still.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what makes it even better?
Feels good to be here, Lachie.
Did you do the unfollow and refollow to put you back in her
I
notifications?
didn't do that again. I did do that again. No, just dropped some Monday meme dump to prove to be very popular, and there was a nice comment left by
Kendall.
By Kendall.
And so, how much did you pay her for that comment?
I didn't pay any for that comment.
You,
I need you to know that. That was not solicited.
On Nick's brand new iPhone, if you go to Kendall's number or whatever, you'll see, hey Kendall, it's Nick here.
Oh bullshit.
Here's
in his new little blue text bubble.
Hey, so what I've been trying to do lately.
$50. Can you please comment on our post and follow me back on Instagram? It'd mean the world.
No.
Apple Pay.
No, I think I just Oh, cool. That sounds like a fun thing to do. I'll learn how to do that soon. No, I just liked the comment. I liked it from my own account. What she wrote, and she goes, "Oh, that must be him. That must be
the only person to like this comment that says, pay this admin more," or whatever it was.
No, also the Ashlots and Susie account. What?
Oh,
that's
dear.
exactly who it's referring
Typical.
to. So I have no issue with that. But no, it's going. It's going, and I have to keep reminding myself that it's going. Every time I'm like, I won't post that. I'm like, no, this is the world you live in now.
Do we have an
Gotta keep
update on
posting.
your ambassadorship?
Coming.
Still in the works.
I was given 3 weeks. I was
yeah.
given a 3-week timeline since I introduced this idea, so I need to check back in on that. And I mean, for what it is, my body really needs it. So I'm hoping that comes through.
Okay, this is. I'm fascinated because Alicia, you know what this thing is, right? You know that.
No.
You just know that there's something in the
Did
pipeline.
you tell me?
I can't. Honestly, I can't remember what I tell people. This comes
Okay.
up. This comes up a lot in my home life. Going.
I don't care enough about you guys to remember this stuff.
I respect
I'm kidding.
that. No.
Wow.
Honestly.
I thought you would laugh at that.
Honestly, I
You
respect
both took
that.
it to heart.
No, I didn't take it to heart. I know who you are. That's actually 100% you. I'm like, yeah, no, fair enough.
It is not.
Wow.
Alicia really keeps a professional distance.
No, and I do respect
mean?
that.
Yeah,
I do respect that. There was something that I thought about just before, and I've had an absolute mind blank as I'm starting to speak about it, which is really embarrassing.
Does it have anything?
Just let him have the dead end.
Yeah, actually, should we let him just sit in this for a bit?
Sit in the dead end.
Look, I'm just going to get ahead of a scandal here.
Yeah, sure.
Because
Scandal.
I put a request. I use my little. Lachie and I have a lot of conversations throughout the show.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's about football.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
about whatever.
Okay, yep.
But I actually buzzed through to Lachie with a request this morning, and then Alicia cottoned onto it because it's under her dominion. And I think you said you were really curious about this, so I'm happy to use this forum to unpack what went down this morning behind the scenes.
Please do.
I buzzed through to you because I said, "Hey, Lachie, usually you go in and you're asked to go pick up a guest when they're downstairs."
Yep.
Lachie Neal was coming in, the 2-time Brownlow medalist and Brisbane Lions co-captain, and I thought to myself, I haven't really spoken to Lachie in quite a while because I used to be in touch with him when I was over the road at Triple M and I was a sports producer. And because I sit in this studio on the far side here, especially in the morning, 6 till 7, until Mitch leaves to go on Mitch on the Street, usually after he finishes his 7 o'clock bulletin, I'm in Matty Rowe's studio.
Why is that? Because when Mitch comes back, you guys share the space, but before he leaves, you don't.
We only
That's a great observation.
We only share the space for about 20 minutes.
There's actually in Mitch's contract, he says I can't be in the same room as Nick for more than 23 minutes.
It's a weird thing. I like it's a massive paradox. I love to be connected with everyone, but I like to work alone and in silence.
He needs time to warm up into the day.
Yeah, I do. I know that. So that's 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. I've got direct line of sight in the studio. I've got access to a microphone if needed, and I can see everything, and I've got an easy run. And then I moved to Mitch's spot. But the problem is I'm kind of isolated from the show and what's sort of happening. I thought, I've got a couple of footy questions to catch up with Lachie, and I'm like, I just haven't seen him in a while, and I've missed him.
What was one of the footy questions?
Just for example, because the West Coast coach got sacked yesterday, and Lachie spent a lot of time playing over in Perth for Fremantle.
Sure.
And I'd made a comparison on my other podcast the other day about how the Brisbane Broncos and the Brisbane media landscape is very similar to West Coast and the Perth media landscape. They're pretty much a like-for-like comparison.
Did you take a microphone with you while you're asking these questions?
No.
Get it for your pod?
No, you'll hear it on Northern Exposure next week. But I did want to know firsthand. I'm like, what was it like living in that fishbowl? And I was just it's a genuinely curious question.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
you were doing a little bit of work for your other podcast.
It was a little bit embarrassing for me because I'd already texted Lachie Neal saying, "Yep, Lachie's on the way down to get you." And then when Lachie was like, "Nah, Nick's going," I was like, "Oh."
Well, no,
that's right.
Because it was embarrassing for me. Because then when I was walking Lachie Neal out, he said, "Do you have a problem with me? Like, is there an issue that you have with me? Why didn't you come collect me from?"
He did not say that.
He did.
Say that.
So it's kind of crazy.
No, that's all right.
He's lovely. I do like Lachie.
Lovely guy.
Great dude.
I have a question as well, Nick. Well, not a question, more of a possible demerit point for Lachie to decide on, maybe.
Oh, for me to decide on. Okay, yes.
I'm happy.
I got worried for a second. I was like,
what
have I done?
I'm happy to offer an early guilty plea and self-report under amnesty if it's not the thing you're thinking of.
Oh, okay. No, you mentioned before that you normally go into Matty Rowe's studio and turn on and there's a microphone there in case you need it. And we did notice this morning that something might have played over one of the songs.
Yep, no, I've already declared it. Fader mistake. I left a fader on. I didn't realise because...
he might have started replaying the news during the song. Although it was good for me to hear because I went, I don't have to remind Nick to put the news podcast up like I do nearly every morning.
You text me every morning to put up the Overnight Report.
Because I heard it over the news and it's like, that's Nick listening to it.
Which is a replay of the... but yes, and there's 2 studios, fair to say. If I turn on that studio there, I then have a line of mic access through to this studio, the one that you hear the radio show through. But Buzz can't control that. Buzz has no way of turning that on and off. So that's why I've realised when I come in a little bit hot on that microphone that he can't pull my fader down.
Because what you're essentially doing, right, is that this is maybe a little bit nerdy, but the studio that we're in right now, this is the studio that the radio is playing out of.
Correct.
So right now the desk is in what we call record mode.
Yep.
It means that what's happening right now isn't going to air. Whenever there's a podcast recording, that stuff's not going to air. But the studio that Matty Rowe is in is generally not for on air. It's not switched. There's a button.
It's
that
like a
literally
preparation
says,
studio.
Yeah. There's a button that literally says on air. You can press it on, and whatever comes out of the microphone will
Goes
just
to the
go
air.
straight
Correct,
to air.
yes.
And so that's what you do when you
Yeah,
are
so
timing in.
I have to turn that studio on because
Yep.
Buzz doesn't have a line of access to it. I have to turn it on. We've got some very heavy, and Buzz has this problem too. We have some very heavy, because radio studios now have cameras in them. We've got like sort of spotlights.
It's like the ring light you have in your bedroom.
Exactly.
If anyone's got one of those.
Lachie, do you have a ring light in your bedroom?
I do not.
No, I don't
Alicia,
I
do
don't.
you?
I'm not a. You know, I'm not a
What
selfie
are you
girl.
filming in there?
Okay.
Anyway.
Keep it professional, guys. Keep it professional.
No, hey, it is a profession. How dare you? Secondly, there's some really intense ones in Matty Rowe's studio. And Lachie, if you look down at the buttons there,
No.
these are old studios
Yes.
we're in.
The LED lights in the desk.
They're not very strong,
Not
are
very
they?
powerful.
So under heavy light, it's very tough to tell what is red and what is green. I know that sounds silly. Mitch Lewis, who was colourblind, would definitely be able to agree with us. I don't know how he panels the show.
Quite
sometimes.
often, what I'll have to do to make sure that we're definitely not going to air right now is I'll put my hand over
We do always worry about that.
the button
Yeah.
just to make sure that the light is
Yeah.
turned on, and we are not on.
Anyway, so I think I left a fader up and just the wrong button on. And anyway, I was cutting up the Nova Night report, and I could hear
Everyone's heads went like meerkats. We were all like looking at
fortunately,
each other going, "Who is that?
I picked
What's
up on
happening?"
it as well because I'm
Yeah.
like, it wasn't coming out of the normal
speaker.
Yeah.
Q speaker that it would. I'm like, that sounds off. And I did a little look, and then I hear Buzz just buzz back to me going, you want to pull that fader down, buddy? I'm like, yep, okay.
Yeah,
It was
look.
very funny.
So no demerit point. I like to say.
Whoa.
I'm offering this is an early guilty plea.
I don't know if that
I
gets
don't,
you out of it.
I don't think that exactly works. If you offer an early guilty plea for speeding,
I was going to say, if you walk into the police station and go, sorry, I was speeding earlier, just so you know.
Oh, it shows remorse.
yeah, but I think you can still cop a demerit point. For
I
that.
would like to. Yeah.
Hey.
Maybe good behaviour.
No, you go on.
No.
You go on good behaviour.
It'd be a great judge. No.
You've got a bunch of demerit points up your sleeve.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
fine, Nick. Just cop this one. The thing
Just
that
add it to the pile, mate.
the thing that I was thinking about before, we had quite an interesting, and I'll be careful with what I say here. A little bit of behind the scenes tea, if you will. Nick, I know you're an MC.
Yes.
We have many MCs who are on the
We
show. At this
do. I
point
made
in
that
time.
observation in the meeting. I'm like, there are a lot of people who are paid to speak behind microphones. Obviously, it's a radio show, but host events.
Yes.
And in the last 5 or 6 years, I've sort of entered into that market.
Mm-hmm.
Very much controlled by the TV and radio presenters of Brisbane. If we're looking at just the Southeast Queensland scene,
Yep.
those are real big dogs there.
Yeah, and it's because they've got generally an established media presence.
Yes.
You see them on
They're
TV.
an
you see-
established talker. It makes sense.
Now, in today's meeting, it was a little bit interesting, a little bit spicy, because
Yes.
there was a business that's reached out to say, hey, we'd love for Ash or Lachie to host an event.
I do have a question here because actually this affects my own personal business. This is even something I should be saying behind the scenes, but we have all our meetings on air. What do those when a client, and we won't name any clients, when a client writes in and says, hey, we have an event coming up, we would love for, what is the line they use? Is it talent? Is it a person specifically?
It's usually a specific person.
So they're usually
in that
specifically
case,
requesting, like,
yes.
can we have Lachie to host our event?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And that's generally
They always
because
say a specific name. This particular time they hadn't. I think they originally wanted Susie, but she's on holidays and couldn't get back in time. So they said, okay, well, what? It was a very vague one. Normally they come in with all the info.
Because if it's a big
So
name
this
too,
was
it's a
this
draw
was
card for the
yeah.
event.
yeah.
This was very vague. There's an event. They're interested in having someone. Can you just check availabilities and then we can go from there. So I brought it up in the meeting today. I said, hey, Ash and Lachie, I know, because normally I'd take them directly to them. I wouldn't bring
Yeah.
it up in a big meeting, but I thought, whatever.
But that's part of your
So-
role is to help manage both.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
Susie
technically Ash and Lutzie's manager.
You're like that,
technically.
yeah. Well, for anything coming through the station, yes.
Yeah,
that is your job.
because they don't have like
They
managers
don't have
for
agents or anything.
appearances.
Susie
and
has a
whatnot.
manager.
Susie
Yeah.
has a manager. Everything goes through her.
Ash and Lutz don't. And so this is one of those weird scenarios in which they've reached out, they've gone, hey, we'd love to have Ash or Lutzie MC this event. And you've kind of pitched it in front of everyone else.
Yeah, again, which is odd because I wouldn't normally
no.
do that.
And Kendall, turns out that she
Has also been pitched.
has also been pitched
The same MC?
individually.
The same event.
The same event.
That was very funny. She was like, oh, you've got to turn that down. I've just been offered the same thing.
So it may be the case that this event has two MCs and it's going to be all
I
on
think
the clear.
so. She did say there might be a couple of people there.
But
Kendall said. So.
it would be like, I'm not sure whether this this client, whether there's people who are paying to have Ashton Lutz potentially MC this thing, whether they know that Kendall has joined us. They probably should if they're reaching out to Ashton Lutzy to have him on the show, whatever they're doing, the event that they're doing. They probably should at least listen to the show this week to realize that Kendall's there, and maybe that these wires might cross. But Kendall was like, "Oh no, I hope that you don't say yes because I want this gig."
Yeah, and then which brings into a very interesting situation where, because as I said, there is a group of people here in this city who get offered the same sort of gigs, and there's kind of like an unspoken agreement with all of them to keep prices at a certain level.
Oh,
What I was told about once when I entered this game by someone a bit higher in the cabal was...
This is a different media
It's a different
cabal.
media cabal. This is the old cabal. This is the old institution, the one that I'm trying to shake a bit from the new cabal.
Righto.
But they said, don't lowball it. Don't come in and undercut it. So don't come in and go, oh, let's just say, hypothetically, it's someone's offered $1,000 and don't come in and say you could do it for $500, which is questionable, but it protects the interests of the higher cabal.
Oh, it protects everyone's interest.
Yeah, but they don't. But that's the thing going. Let's say I came in hypothetically and said I'll do it for $500, and that would be good for me. But what happens is, what they do is they hear about the cabal hears about this, and then they go because there's a lot of like gigs. Like if I can't do a gig, I'd go, sorry, I'm booked in to do this. Alicia, would you be able to do this one for me? They kind of share it around. But within there, they go, hey, by the way, Nick lowballs all the time, and he's driving down the value. Don't offer him any more gigs.
Right.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. That's how it works.
Okay, so will you be lowballing, or do you know roughly what they offer?
I don't know.
Okay.
And that's the thing, because they don't tell you the prices.
No.
The higher cabal doesn't tell you their price.
This is very.
So you just got to try and guess.
Oh, you have to try and guess without stuffing yourself over and without over pitching. Yeah, you have to guess.
Interesting.
Much like a tax time with the ATO, you just have to guess. And jail. Too bad.
Speaking of, because I've experienced something similar, not quite in the MC area.
Can I get you to hold that thought for one, just for the sake of staying on MC topics for one moment?
Okay.
Had a very interesting. I think I told you about this very interesting moment on the weekend where I was booked for a gig a month ago, and then I heard nothing, just nothing. I'm like, oh, it's weird. They reached out and I confirmed and said, yes, I'm available. Again, didn't know the price or anything, so I'm like, oh, what's the price I did for these people last time? And heard nothing. A week out, they went, oh, our apologies. We'd already booked someone else. So I'm like, oh, that's weird. No, all good. Don't worry about it. No, that's fine. Flicking through my Instagram stories on Saturday. Checked Lutzie's Instagram.
No.
Look who's hosting the event.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And I'm just messaging him going, so you're the bloke that resold me for this gig. And
So can you reveal, or you can choose not to reveal? Is Lutzie a part of the higher cabal?
Lachie is part of the high cabal.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
I can name names.
Yeah.
Because you'll see them at every gig.
Yeah.
Everyone who probably has been to any event in Brisbane will have been to an event hosted. Mitch Lewis is part of this cabal.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Also, they're just good at what they do, so it's completely understandable.
I had a similar experience, but slightly different. Producing. So I got asked to produce a TV show.
I remember this, yeah.
Last year, towards the end of last year, it was a one-off gig, and they said that it was going to be a one-off gig with scope for future producing work. And they said, "What's your rate?" Now, as someone who's not really produced all that often, I was like, I don't know.
It's a bizarre situation because you go through an existential crisis of putting your value on yourself.
And you go, well, how much should I charge? Anyway, we came to what I thought was a fairly good, rate. And if anything, I thought it was higher than it should have been. Like they offered something, and I was like, well, okay, I'm happy to go with that. Anyway, haven't heard anything from them since.
What? This was in like November.
Well, no, they paid for it. So
okay.
they paid me.
Did they pay you quickly?
It was pretty quick.
Okay.
So I don't know whether TV
I always
TV
wondered,
money's way too.
It's revealed a bit. It's TV money.
Well, I said it was a TV show.
That's true. They're also big networks, so they've got the cash.
Well, and that's the thing. I don't know whether I severely undersell myself when it comes to
I think
TV
you're
producing.
just a shit producer. Look.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm kidding. We
I
love
used
Lachie.
I used to think the old producer was
Yeah.
like meaner to Lachie, but I'm starting to.
Yeah, but this is
I'm
coming
just
from a
starting to
place
see
of
you
love.
for who you truly
it?
are.
It's coming from a place of
Is
love,
it?
and Lachie knows that.
Now I know what that ring light in her bedroom is for. She just
Oh.
like at night just sits down and roasts Lachie for an hour on a live stream on
It's
her
the-
Twitch stream.
It's the English humour that you Aussies don't get it.
Oh, of course.
That's funny.
Anyway, no, but it is one of those things. Coming towards tax time now, you're going, oh, how have I earned money this year? You're trying to go through it all. And you go, oh, it would be great to do some more TV producing work because that was good money. But
To all the network execs that listen to
You know,
this.
you can reach out to them and say, hey, is there any more gigs going?
yeah, that's true. I probably
Like,
could do that.
you can do that.
So you just want to get yourself into the cabal where they reach out to you all the time.
Well,
Yeah. So Alicia, my I guess the end question to it is, I probably fall below. I've Lachie, Susie. I'm
Oh,
probably
Susie would be above Lachie,
No,
I'm
Susie's
gonna
above.
say.
No, Susie's above Lachie, and
Yeah.
then Lachie, and then I'm gonna say Ash, then Mitch. I don't think Buzz used to host an event, do events back in the day.
not so much anymore.
Not so much anymore. So I'm gonna maybe put myself at 6th on the list. How do you feel about offering me out there? Just go, hey, well, I couldn't get you Susie, Lachie, Ash, Mitch, or Buzz.
But we
But-
have got our digital producer, Nick.
No, don't lead with that.
Okay, we have got
He's
Nick.
trying to rebrand. He's trying to
the
rebrand.
branding issue I'm coming up with.
I'll just say we've got Nick
We do have
Davis.
Instagram verified Nick Davis.
Thank you very much. Damn right.
He paid for that own verification, but he's still
and
verified.
if the ATO is listening, he'll be claiming that back because it's part of my work.
Exactly. Just quickly, tax time. What are you claiming on tax this year? Just quick. We'll just go around the room, make sure that we can all establish that work things that we've paid for ourselves.
Streaming services.
Streaming services, great.
All
Love
got
that.
claimed.
Love that.
Adobe,
I'm
Dropbox.
claiming my passport and the passport rushing fee that I had to do last year because when I thought I was going to be going to Fukuoka.
Oh.
So I had to rush that through and get that done. And I
Yeah.
barely had the cash at the time to do it.
Yep.
I only to be told, you're not coming.
Oh, no.
So sorry.
So I'll be claiming that as a work expense.
I'm going to be claiming anything to do with the Women's World Cup. Any jersey that I bought for that, any trip that I made, any food that I purchased on those trips, all work expenses.
Can
A little
I ask,
self-provided per diem. Which I love.
Lachie, you did purchase a gift for someone that had to do with football.
Yeah.
Do you think you could claim that?
Oh,
We all chipped in on it for one of our beloved
Oh, we did
members.
do that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Did we all chip in? Did everyone transfer me?
Did I pay you?
I did.
Oh, I know you did.
Oh, yeah, I didn't pay you.
Oh no.
Oh, really? Oh, sorry.
I'm fairly sure. Anyway, you know
You
my
don't have to anymore because he's claiming it on
you know my pay ID.
I do.
It's my mobile number. Anyway, just want to thanks for bringing that up, Alicia. That wasn't a planned thing, but if you would like to transfer me
debt
for
collecting
me,
on a Wednesday.
if you would like to transfer me for that, Nick, I'd appreciate it.
Well, it really helped me because I ended
Next
up...
financial year,
I
mate, I'll be
ended
good
up-
for it.
I ended up owing the ATO rather than getting a refund. So
Oh.
everything I claimed was every little
I feel like
helps,
every major
really.
enforcement body in this country is chasing you. If it's not like
Literally.
state penalties and enforcement.
Yeah, it's the ATO. Freaking immigration will be after me next for something or other.
Well, I mean, manifest it, put it out there.
We hear you're in debt. We're revoking your citizenship.
I know someone at customs, we can make that happen.